JP Nation, this your boy JP, and man, I tell you what, I was going to release a video Sunday or Monday, but man, Scottie Pippen in the headlines again, and this one coming from, a preview of his upcoming memoir, Unguarded, when he unloads on Michael Jordan. Why can I not just make a video on this one today? So this is y'all's treat and everything. Before we get into the comments, subscribe down below to It's Just JP for more basketball content, and check out my previous videos too as well. Thank you so much for 1,181 subscribers. On our way to 1,200 subscribers. Follow me on my social media platforms you see in this video, and also click the notification bell. You will know when my next upload is. And let's go ahead and get into the comments made by Scottie Pippen that whipped Michael Jordan apart, especially in the Last Dance documentary. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is Scottie Pippen's comments. I was nothing more than a prop. His best teammate of all time. He called me. He couldn't have been more condescending if he tried. Each episode was the same. Michael on the pedestal, his teammates secondary, smaller. The message though different from when he referred to us back then as his supporting cast. And there is more people. From one season to the next, we received little or no credit whenever we won, but the bulk of the criticism when we lost. Michael Jordan would have never been Michael Jordan without me, Horace Grant, Tony Kukoc, John Paxson, Steve Kerr, Dennis Rodman, Bill Cartwright, Ron Harper, BJ Armstrong, Luke Longley, Will Perdue, Bill Winnington. I apologize to anyone I left out. You left out Scott Burrell. How would you leave out Scott Burrell, people? I'm just kidding. Alright, so before we get into the comments, I just want to talk about the Last Dance documentary. If you haven't checked out the Last Dance documentary, I recommend you look at it. It's a great documentary. I watched it like 10, 15 times. It's a great documentary. But it does have its faults too as well, because first of all, it does come from Michael Jordan's point of view, but it rightfully so, because everybody wants to listen to the greatest player of all time. Everybody wants to listen to Michael Jordan instead of, Scottie Pippen or Steve Kerr or Dennis Rodman. If it was like 30 for 30, Scottie Pippen, Bulls, it's different, but it's coming from Michael Jordan, and he's the one that gave the green light to as well. So that's just to get that out the way. So yes, it's going to come from his point of view, and it does seem like he's, throwing his teammates underneath the bus and all that, in the documentary. He even said himself on Good Morning America that it's going to come off as a horrible person. But we already know that Jordan is not a nice person off cameras and everything. He give you that condescending, nice, laid back, smiling personality with the cameras rolling and everything, tricking y'all and tricking us. I mean, hey, you gotta stay professional. He maintained his professionalism and everything when the cameras is on. So, props to Michael Jordan for that one. And also, I just felt like, there was some things he didn't really have to talk about, give his opinion on. Like the one about Scottie Pippen, refusing to go into a game in 1994 against the Knicks. Michael Jordan was not on that team and all that. Like, he was not on his team. Like, so why would you want to, persuade your opinion about, Scottie Pippen being selfish and all that? You was not part of that team, man. Why did you show that clip and all that when you're not part of that team? You could have just showed your rookie year to your championships to when you retire, then come back to the NBA, or you could show a little bit of baseball. You don't have to show the Bulls highlights while you were gone. Like, come on now, to all the way to your last season as a Bull. So I understand Scottie Pippen in that aspect of it too as well. So, but yes, like I said, it's coming from Michael Jordan's point of view, and he's gonna make the money off the documentary and all that because he's talking about it. So, of course, but we knew what we was gonna get in the Last Dance, okay? And Scottie Pippen also did say that. Scottie Pippen also did say that he's trying to persuade the younger viewers that LeBron's not the greatest of all time. Which, that's probably facts too as well, because, the young generation didn't see Michael Jordan play. I didn't see Michael Jordan play. I saw highlights. But the Last Dance just showed you how great of a player he was and all that. I always knew that he was the greatest of all time by just looking at the highlights and how great he was and his stats and everything. If you watch that, Jordan versus LeBron comparison video I did a couple of weeks ago that's hitting over almost close to 20,000 views. Thank you so much for it. I mean, I already knew that, you know, everybody, that they was going to side with Jordan and all that, and it just shows you the breakdown too as well of why Jordan is the greatest of all time. So, but for the young generation that haven't seen Jordan play, and we was in that pandemic, it just shows you how great of a player he was. He was a great player. Great player. Like, he had no weaknesses in his game whatsoever. Like, he was a killer. Like, he played both sides of the ball hard. Like, I have never seen anyone play that hard on both sides of the ball, and he was relentless. He was very athletic, but had great fundamentals too as well. So it just shows you just a chance of how great he was, and what, you know, all the old folks and people that watch him play talk about, you know, because, you know, the young fans saying LeBron's the greatest player of all time or the best player of this generation and everything. And totally understand the best player of this generation, but, you know, but for people saying that LeBron's the greatest of all time, we obviously haven't seen Jordan play. So there was some facts right there with that one, what Scottie Pippen was saying too as well. So let's go in and get into these comments. I was nothing more than a prop. His best teammate of all time, he called me. He couldn't have been more condescending if he tried. I was nothing more than a prop. Scottie Pippen, I mean, you are a top 50 player of all time in 1997. You're a top 75 player of all time. This year, I mean, you freaking was a great defensive player. You made, what, 6, 7 All-Star games. I mean, you was the best small forward of the 90s, okay? Like, how in the world are you nothing more than a prop and all that? Like, you was getting your recognition too as well. So, what? Like, really, man? Like, really? You're like, really? Like, you think you're better than Michael Jordan? No, you're not, okay? Because everybody knew Michael Jordan was the best player and was the better player than you. So, and look, imagine if you try to carry, like, go to a team and try to carry that team. You ain't gonna carry the team like Jordan did, okay? So just stop it right there, saying that you're nothing more than a prop and all that. You are getting your flowers too. You are not underappreciated. I mean, you felt unappreciated because you played with the greatest player of all time, but you still was a great player, and real hoopers know that, okay? I understand the line about his best teammate of all time line that Michael Jordan said. I can understand. Look, Jordan probably don't even care about the call. He probably might be hurt, but he was really speaking facts though. If you listen to the interview with Ahmad Rashad, he says Scottie Pippen pushed Michael Jordan, and he pushed Scottie Pippen to be the best, to be 6-0 in the finals, to win 6 championships. Okay, like. Like, he wasn't being condescending and all that, you know. I know he's not a nice person. I know he's probably persuading the viewers, but he's not. He's not. He knows that he would have won those championships without you. So for him to say that he's just being condescending and all that, that's just jealousy right there. That is just jealousy, okay? Scottie Pippen, you never won a Finals MVP because the best player on your team was number 23. So stop it. Just stop it right there, okay? So let's go in and get into the second part. Each episode was the same. Michael on a pedestal, his teammates secondary, smaller. The message no different from when he referred to us back then as the supporting cast. I mean, of course, because The Last Dance is focused on Michael Jordan's point of view. Like, of course that, you know, it's going to sell the documentary because everybody wants to listen to Michael Jordan. Everybody's not going to listen to Dennis Rodman or Steve Kerr or Scottie Pippen, you know, no offense to them and all that. Of course, like, Michael was freaking the Beatles in the NBA. He was that famous and everything. So, of course, everybody wants to listen to Michael Jordan because he never really reflected about his career and all that, you know, unless like you keep talking about who the GOAT is, then he'll speak out a little bit, but he never really reflected on his career except for that time he did with Ahmad Rashad and the Hall of Fame speech, you know, a little bit, but he's not a reflective person though. So of course everybody was excited and like they were just hungry just to hear Michael Jordan speak, and plus it's coming from his point of view and all that, and gave the green light for the documentary. So of course he's going to be put on the pedestal and that y'all be the supporting cast and everything. So of course, that's just the media. That's just how it is, okay, Scotty, okay? And look, I understand that he called y'all supporting cast and all that. Look, Michael Jordan was a bully. Like I said, he was not a nice person and all that. But at the same time, he was the best player on the team. He's the focus of the Chicago Bulls. He was the face of the NBA, okay? Like, I mean, look, Scottie Pippen, you ain't gonna surpass Michael Jordan as a Chicago Bull and all that and say, Michael, you're going to be the second best player behind me. It's not going to happen because Michael Jordan was so much far different than Scottie Pippen would ever be. So yes, he was a bully. I understand. Look, if you didn't raise your game to the next level, why he wants to play with you? He wants to win. He wants to win, okay? Jesus. So far, we're just seeing Scottie just kind of being just like very salty and all that, but sometimes I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time he's still being salty and just letting all the anger and frustration out after all these years, you know, after just keeping it just bottled like inside him and all that. It just seems like you could even see it in a couple games where you could just see that Scottie was just so jealous of Michael Jordan, okay? Because he's going to get all the credit and everything because it's Michael Jordan. So let's go ahead and get into the next one. From one season to the next, we received little or no credit whenever we won, but the bulk of the criticism when we lost. I mean, Michael Jordan is going to get criticized too, okay? Because he's still an athlete. He's going to get criticized. But I mean, I don't know how much criticism, because like I said, I wasn't, you know, I didn't watch him back in the day, but like as a basketball player, and as the best player on the team, you're going to get criticized like no matter what. So I feel like he was just being a little salty there, you know. Of course, everybody's going to get criticized and all that, but Jordan gets criticism too. Everybody was talking about him gambling and stuff and this suspicion and everything. So he's going to get criticism too. So, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Scottie Pippen. I just really just don't know. Okay? Just don't know. So you just kind of just being just an ass at this point, you know, in these comments and everything. But at the same time, you know, social media was not huge back then like it is now. LeBron is getting the crazy heat and hate, you know, just as a basketball player and all that, because, you know, it's LeBron James. Everybody's gonna hate on him and all that and criticize his game and everything here. So, but like I said, social media wasn't huge back then. We was getting like social media from the media and like the newspapers and the you know, these TV shows, ESPN and everything, you know, so, but yeah, of course, like, Jordan's gonna get the criticism and all that, okay? Like, stop it. This one really just made me mad, just looking at this earlier. So, Scottie Pippen, in this last part, he said, Michael Jordan would never have been Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Tony Kukoc, John Paxson, Steve Kerr, all the people on the Chicago Bulls. Scottie Pippen should have been specific in terms of this last one. Michael Jordan would have not won any championship without Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, John Paxson. If he would have said that, that would have been like facts, like straight facts, okay? Like I would not even like disagree or argue that point. But since he did not say that, let me go ahead and disrespect him on this one here. Scottie Pippen, before you came into the league, Michael Jordan was already a superstar. Like, he was already a superstar. I mean, this dude, as a rookie, won Rookie of the Year, made the All-Star team, averaged 28.4 points a game, and then so on, just scored over 30 points a game. Over 30 points a game. This guy was freaking MVP, Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. Scottie Pippen, you never done that. You never done that. This dude was getting individual accolades and was coming up as the next person. Because Magic and Bud was winning championships, but they were getting older. He was the next one in line to be the face of the NBA and also to be winning a championship and all that. But the problem was he didn't trust his teammates and everything. And then they had to change the coaching philosophy from, I forgot who was his first coach in the NBA. If you could comment down below, please do. To Doug Collins, to Phil Jackson, okay? So, but he was still a great individual player. This dude scored 63 points against the 86 Boston Celtics team, who is considered one of the greatest teams of all time in the playoffs. Scottie Pippen, were you on that team? No, you're not. No, you was not. No, you was not. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This dude could hand out 40, 50 points in his sleep. Okay? Like, like, come on. Like, come on, Scottie. Like, come on. Telling me that Michael Jordan, you're just basically just saying that Michael Jordan was a bust. And that Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan because of y'all. I swear to Jesus. Goodness gracious. We're already talking about Michael Jordan since his days in North Carolina when he hit that shot to give North Carolina the championship and everything. Now, let me go ahead and flip it on you to you, Scottie, right here. Let me go ahead and flip it on to, wasn't it you in that one video when you put out your Jordan sneakers that you were wearing, Jordan sneakers made by Michael Jordan, and you was pointing to that Jumpman logo and was doing this? That was you, Scottie. So what did that mean? That mean that you wanted Michael Jordan back because you knew that you needed him to get back to the pedestal, which is to win an NBA championship. I mean, sweet Jesus Almighty. So come on, Scottie. Like, come on. Like, come on. Really, all this hate and this jealousy when you needed Michael Jordan to win you a championship. What did Michael Jordan do to you? Like, he didn't polish your shoes correctly, or did he not give you the right, like, you know, jersey? I mean, that's just ridiculous, Scottie. Just ridiculous. But I totally understand Scottie's side at the same time, in a little bit, just because, you know, we was giving too much praise of Michael, you know, Jordan, even though he deserves a lot of praise because he's the greatest player of all time and his accolades and resume speaks for himself. But in terms of just, you know, condescending personality, like, oh, Michael Jordan he's a great person, he's a great person, and covering up all these great things he did, just knowing that he's not a good person outside the NBA and all that, okay? Like, listen, I mean, like, come on, Scottie, just come on. Like, just, if I have to give you some advice, Scottie Pippen, please let it go. Just let it go, okay? Just let it go. I mean, look, Dennis Rodman is not making a freaking book and criticizing Michael Jordan. Steve Kerr is not making a book and criticizing Michael Jordan. Tony Kukoc is not making a book and criticizing Michael Jordan. Freaking Horace Grant is not criticizing, or he is criticizing Michael Jordan, but he's not writing a book, okay? BJ Armstrong, same thing. Everybody except for you, that you just want to keep bringing this up. You've been so jealous of Michael Jordan, and then when LeBron came in the league, you just went right into his coattails and said, well, LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, you know, because, you know, you got to be on your P's and Q's. He's super smart with the basketball. He plays every position, and, you know, he is so talented, like, he could do everything. Shut up, Scottie. Just shut up, okay? And then you change sides like, oh, well, Michael was great too and all. Shut up, Scottie. Just shut up. Just shut up, okay? But, you know, it just felt like Scottie just held it in for so long that he just decided just to release it out after The Last Dance came out and stuff. So, I mean, just Jesus Christ, Scottie. Just Jesus Christ, okay? So, this is the end of the video. Comment down below your thoughts about Scottie Pippen's comments about Michael Jordan, ripping Michael Jordan from The Last Dance and other things that he brought up too as well. Subscribe down below if you want more basketball content too. It's just JP. Click the notification bell. You will know when my next upload is. And check out my previous videos too as well. Thank you so much for the love and support you have given to my videos. We're at 1,181 subscribers. Let's get to 1,200 subscribers. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it, okay? This movement is going to keep going on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers. Let's get to 10,000, okay? Woo! I mean, man. Future is bright, man. The future is bright, and I could not done it without y'all. I'm JP, and we out of here. Peace.